Hello everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is Sunday the 8th. No, it's Sunday the 9th. Yes, Sunday the 9th. I hope everyone had a fun and safe New Year's if you celebrate or did anything, or if you didn't, well, I hope you just had a nice evening at home. How is everybody? It's excellent to hear. Alright, so I've got a crap ton of haul to show you today. I got a very nice gift card to my LNS, so I went and kitted up a whole bunch of stuff, or finished kitting up a whole bunch of stuff for the most part. There's one thing that I still need 2 more flosses for, but they didn't have, so I'm going to have to order those. I've got, of course, good old whip updates, a couple new starts, actually. As well as some discussion of things to come. Okay, so diving right on into the Q&A, I'm thrilled by the people who are excited about this new moon, new start thing that I'm doing. Of course, you're welcome to join me. There's no official anything for it. It just is a thing I do. There is a hashtag. It's new moon, new start. I do, ask if you decide to participate using the hashtag. Please capitalize the N, the M, the N, and the S. In fact, generally, I actually request those of you who use hashtags on Instagram that when a new word is started, that you capitalize the letter. And the reason for that, some people have noticed I actually got asked in one of my questions. I also try to put a image description where I physically describe as best I can what the image is. And the reason being, there are some people who have limited eyesight that still use Instagram. And if they're using a program that will read what's on the screen to them, then the image description helps because it can kind of clarify what it is they're seeing. But on the hashtags, if it's all lowercase letters, it can't distinguish between words. So while on some things it might be able to turn it out okay, a lot of things it can't. So if you capitalize each new word in your hashtag, then the software recognizes, oh, this is a new word, and so they're more likely to get what the actual hashtag is. I'm sure there's probably still some... I'm sure it's not perfect, but it's better. So I strongly recommend, if you don't already do that, and if you've wondered why I do that, that's why. So, as someone who still has their sight, but has really, really terrible sight, if it wasn't able to be corrected, I would be completely at a loss. So, alright, anyhow. So, sorry, got a little bit off on a soapbox there, but yes. So there you go. Haha. Alright, Anne Musso asks, do you have a favorite chart? No. I don't know. It's like asking, do you have a favorite pet? Or, it just, no, I don't think I do. I don't think I can pick. No. Now, I have some that are like my favorite when I'm working on it, but then something else becomes my new favorite. I have some that I've really, really loved overall, but in terms of actual favorite, no, I don't think I can safely answer that. Critter Stitcher asks, is Asher new to the family and is he a rescue? He's new-ish. We got him about 3 weeks after we lost Phoebe. He is a rescue. He was actually picked up by the rescue group on the day Phoebe passed, so we kind of took that as a bit of a sign. So he's new-ish. He just is very much a puppy and very much gets into things. So when I'm here, I can't focus on keeping him out of stuff, so the door stays closed. So that's why you haven't really seen him until last week when he decided to become a howler monkey. Which happens. Bees and Tea Stitching says, I love the mug. Where did you get it? It was actually a Christmas present from my boss. It was part of the Disney Rainbow Collection. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a year on here. So I don't know if it was this year, if it was last year. I believe she probably got it at like a Home Goods or a Marshall's, because I know she did not go to Disney World. So you might check online, you might check some of those like places like Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Tuesday Morning, where places get old stock and sell it off. And I don't recall what my fabric is for Sanctuary. I don't actually think it's labeled. I think it was a one-off from Fortnite. I'm sorry. Genevieve, or maybe it's Genevieve. I'm not sure. That's one of those that's a little hard to tell when it's written. So, I sympathize with you. That name is not going to fit into the Sing a Sampler. So that is the entire reason I am stymied on that one, because I just don't want to fill in the grass. Which is really a silly reason, I know. But I'm allowed to be a little silly, right? Deborah Dixon asks, is there any type of chart or subject matter you wish were being released this year? Something you'd like to see out there? Well, of course, I always want more Oz. Bias there. I'm very excited for a couple that I know are coming, but I can't talk about. In terms of, there's some things where it's like fandom things that I would like to see, like, I don't know, maybe like a fun Scooby-Doo Sal, where it's not just the gang and the machine, but like some of the ghosts or various different monsters. I think that would be really fun. Unless maybe there is a Scooby-Doo Sal and I just don't know about it. Of course, I would love to see Carol Channing immortalized in almost any capacity. I do have one from Ingleside Imaginarium that she designed for me that I still need to do, and I still have plans to turn Raven Queen into Dolly Levi. I mean, I've got a couple that are out there that I could do, but I haven't done them yet. I don't know. Yeah. Scooby-Doo, I think, would be a fun one. Yeah. Let's see. All right, and I think that concludes the Q&A. All right, so the haul. This is going to be quite a bit, so settle on in. We're going to start with the easy part, which was this month, or the last of December's. It would have gotten here before, but USPS was just like, we don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. So this is Bankrolls. This is the last of the opalescent set from last year. I switched over to Meet the Browns because I really love their neutrals. So this is a lovely gray. Lovely opalescent gray. So my goal last year was I wanted to get some more opalescents because there are times where I really want to use one or where I think it's really appropriate. And so that has met the goal, so now I'm back to, because I've depleted most of my stash of browns. So now I'm back to needing more browns. Okay. Oops. I forgot to put the label back in there, so I'll know what color it is. Alright, then, let's see. So, I got a grab bag of threads from 3 Owl Thread. She does, usually towards the end of the year, she makes up a whole bunch of grab bags. And they're a great deal. Highly recommend. So I'll show you what I got. Okay, so I got a Sulky. This is color 1119. A number 4 Cryonic, number 326. Threadworks, number 10291. Sort of a nice cream color. A little more flesh toned than what was showing up there. Two Gentle Arts. One's a limited edition. The other is Straw Bonnet. And those are both 5-yard skeins. Two Classic Colorworks. Cappuccino and Cherry Cobbler. And Water Lilies and Cafe au Lait. Right, so that was those. We'll organize those a little bit later. All right, now we get to the more exciting parts. The things I kitted up. Well, first, I got this, the February 2022 Just Cross Stitch, because I had 2 patterns there were 3, but I have changed my mind about one since I brought it home. But there were 2 others that I did still really like. Actually, there were several that I really liked, but the 2 that made me. So this one, it's called The Heart is Like a Garden, which is one that I think would be perfect for mi madre. And that's by Gail Busey. And then Lovebirds and Lace, which is by Carol Thornton of Carol Thornton Designs. So it was those 2 that sort of appealed to me from that. Okay, so what did I do? Well, one of the first things I did was I went and did a floss toss because I had 2 fabric choices for both the Red Riding Hood Parade and the Brooks Books Snow White. And I settled on Ale from Picture This Plus. So I went with Ale, I did a floss toss. So there's Ale from Picture This Plus already. I've got my Licorice Red from Classic Colorworks. I've got the white. And that's all I have at the moment because I'm waiting on an Aurifil shipment. So hopefully it will get here soon. I put in the requisition before Thanksgiving. It's not here yet. I got a sort of update, so I'm hoping they'll be here soon so that I can get started. I decided I wanted to do this one all of their 28 weights, because they've got 3 different weights that were really recommended for cross-stitch. The Aurifloss, obviously. The 12 weight, which is what I've done Cryptids, and what I did was doing Alice in Wonderland, and what I did the majority of the Satsuma Oz in. And then the 28 weight, which is what the Pink Unicorn in Quaker Cryptids was. And that one's recommended to be a 2-strand. So I really am looking forward to seeing how that works on a full design. So, yeah. So I did that. That was the first thing I did. The second thing I did was I kitted up for the Betty White tribute sale, may she rest in peace, that starts on the 17th. So it's, come on, iPad, do what I need you to do. iPad being doom. Sorry about this. I've noticed every once in a while, like, the iPad will just weirdly sort of freeze. So I'm going to be doing Lindy Stitch's Walk Fast, which is that famous, one of those famous quotes. Here it is. And it says, it's like that old Scandinavian saying, you can lead a herring to water, but you have to walk fast or he'll die. I'm going to do a few small, like, color tweaks to it. But, okay, so I'm going to be stitching it on Tailor-Made, which is a Fortnite Fabrics. It's an opalescent. I will not need this full thing, but I didn't want to cut it down because I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to start. But it's this one here. It's a much softer blend in person than it's showing up here. The blue photographs much more vibrantly than it actually shows up. It's really more pinky blue. Or I guess it's really more pink peach than blue. But that just sort of screamed Rose Nylon to me. So I got most of the called for colors. I will do a few minor color tweaks, but I got Amber Waves, Bejeweled, Cherry Tomato, Meadow Green, Root Beer Float, Cocoa Bean, Sunset, and Lettuce Leaf. So those were the called for ones. Now, I also decided that I wanted something different for the border. Something that felt a little more Golden Girls to me. So I picked up 2 skeins of Gloriana's Miami Deco. And I think that's going to be a really pretty, fun border for the piece. So there were a couple of other colors that I really liked better, but they were going to be lost on the fabric. So that's all ready to go for the 17th. Then I got most of the Dinky dies that I needed for Blackberry Plant, which is one of my planned new starts this year. Just threw that on the floor, why don't I? So I already had picked up dark chocolate the last time I was there. They had more, and they actually had all but 2 of the colors. So, I'm just dropping things. That dark chocolate does not want to stay where I need it to stay. Okay. I'm having some technical difficulties this morning. So, I now have... I'll just set you there for the moment. So I got Pearl, Stringy Bark, and Aussie Gold. And then Emerald and Wallaby Grass. So I just need 2 more. I think it's a blue. Yeah, I'm missing Fantasy Blues and Rosewood. and then it'll be ready to go. All right. You're mostly kitted. Then I went ahead and I got I picked up the final one in the Tiny Modernist Fairy Tales, so I now have Snow White, so I've got the full set now. And originally I thought I was gonna do the entire thing and convert it to Fairy Tale Theater, but I really love just how Disney it is. So I think I'm going to just leave well enough alone. And I really do love them all. I don't know, part of me isn't sure, do I really want to do them all on one piece? Or do I want to do them on, and make a whole bunch of pincushions? Because they're just so cute. So, I don't know. We'll see. I still think the Frosted Pumpkin one would work better for Fairy Tale Theater. I don't know. That's actually something I would really love, going back to Deborah's question. If someone wants to design a Fairy Tale Theater stitch-along, it's niche. I am probably one of 4 people who would do it, but I would be absolutely thrilled to bits with that. So long as you definitely must include the Princess and the Pea. That's my only requirement, would be that Princess and the Pea be included. And for those of you who don't know what Fairy Tale Theater is, seriously go check it out. It was an anthology series created by Shelley Duvall in the 80s. And it stars a bunch of people from the 80s. Unfortunately, because of the time period, it is not an overly diverse cast. But you get... And it's a mixed bag across the board. Some episodes are completely spellbindingly brilliant. Liza Minnelli and The Princess and the Pea. And I'm already a little biased because I do love Liza, but it's seriously the best performance she's ever given. And she's opposite Tom Conti and Beatrice Straight and Tim Kazurinsky. There's a Little Mermaid that has Pam Dauber and Treat Williams and Brian Dennehy and Helen Mirren and my favorite dancer ever, Donna McKechnie, and Karen Black as the Sea Witch, who I actually think is better than Ursula. I know that's kind of sacrilege to say, but she's just fabulous. And I mean, it's tons of things like that. Susan Sarandon in Beauty and the Beast. Michael Broderick as the Prince in Cinderella. I mean, you just get some really, really awesomely wild, bizarre things. And each episode has its own art style and look. Tim Burton, I think, directed Pinocchio? I know he directed one of them. I don't remember which one. But they're fantastic. So, highly recommend checking them out. Would love to see someone design a Sal. Okay. So the other thing I did while I was there was I went ahead and kitted up and got the rest of the patterns in the French kitchen. So I already had, I'm not going to try and do them in French. I already had the apple and sage. So I got strawberries and mint. Blueberry and thyme. Pear and rosemary. And the title border one, the Cuisine Française. So, and my plan is to... I've got them all to be done on one piece of fabric. So I don't know for sure that I want to finish them individually, but I don't know. Since it hasn't been called yet, I've got some time to decide. But they were all designed in weeks, so I converted it pretty much entirely to classic colorwork. So I'm going to go through and one Gentle Arts. There was one Gentle Art Mistletoe, which I already had like 2 skeins of, but this was so completely accurately close, I didn't want as inconsistent as Dialots can be with Gentle Arts. I didn't want to take the chance that mine at home art that I already had would match this closely, so I went ahead and bought it. But I also bought and one of the colors I've got to pull because I already had it. Blue Corn, which always makes me think about the Colors of the Wind song. We've got Eve's Leaves, Wild Berries, and Secret Garden. We've got Fresh Brew, Chocolate Mousse, Mermaid's Fin, and then another skein of Amber Waves. So now that is fully kitted. Okay. And thus concludes the haul for this week. Told you there was a lot. I do know I've got some more Fortnite fabric coming from their flash sale. Obviously, I'll have this month's fabric of the month from them. So there may still be haul in the next video. Okay, so what did I work on this week, in the last 2 weeks? Well, I'm glad you asked. So I finished out the year. I worked on losing my train of thought is what I worked on. Oops. So I worked on South Seas Mermaid. And I know originally I said that I was going to plan for this month to go on to more of her fin, but I decided instead I wanted to work on her skin. So I worked on my skin conversion for her. This is on Moana Opal from Under the Sea from Fabrics by Stephanie. So here's where I got to on her. So I got her face done. I did a little bit of back stitching just to make sure that I had picked right colors for it. So some of the back stitching is going to have to be taken out because there's other stuff that still has to be stitched. But there's her skin tone. So I'm really, really happy with how she's turned out so far. So I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do for her hair. I think I'm probably going to have to pull up good old Max Stitch and figure it out. Because I want to do a different color, but the way she's charted, it's going to look very flat if I just do it as it's charted. So I'll have to figure that out. But I do still plan, my plan for this month, when she comes up, is to finish out her, finish her skin. Okay. Then I worked on Nutcracker. I did actually, I should also say, I did also buy one skein of DMC because I was almost out of $4.98. So, and I needed it for this, but I didn't think you needed to see that. So Nutcracker, I had to fix where I had made my mistake on the little bottom biscuit square. So I worked on Nutcracker. This is on Christmas in Williamsburg from Under the Sea Fabrics. So the goal this month, and it's going to be weekly task 4. So I know I haven't really talked a whole lot about that yet. I am doing the magical stitches this year. Weekly task 4 this week is most complete, and this is my pattern that's the closest to being done. That's in my active whip. So my goal is going to be to get that part down there done. then where did my, oh, there it is. I'm trying to see, look and tell. So I did that, then, oh, that's right, he went out the night. So on the last 2 days of the month, I worked on, or of the year, I guess, technically, I actually worked on my cryptids. So I finished the Dover Demons, and then this week brought about the Kraken. So I actually have 2 cryptids to show you. So, because I finished this up on, technically it was New Year's Day, but it was like 1 a.m., so I'm not counting that as New Year's Day, I'm counting it as New Year's Eve. So I did the Dover Demons, finished those up on New Year's Eve, and then I did the Kraken Friday and Saturday of this week. I've got this bottom part here, the bottom border is all done, and then of the I've got, we actually had a power outage at work, so I got a little bit longer to stitch this week. That was kind of nice. So I'm getting there on the border. My goal was because I wasn't sure which part was going to come in here, so I wanted to turn the corner versus finishing up this top part here, because that won't take all that long. So my goal is by the end of the week to at least be there. I will probably try and get, my goal is to have the border done before the last part drops. So that does mean there's a possibility that if like one of these is a really, really skinny one and I get it done fairly quickly, that I'll probably take the rest of that time to work on it. If not, I will probably be devoting one Sunday to cryptids, because I'd really like to get that done so that way when the last one drops on the 28th, I can hopefully have it all done by the 29th so that I can use this one for my Aurifil Artisan check-in. Okay. Then, on New Year's Day, I started with, let's see which pattern, no, you're not in that one. I started on Little Mermaid by Veronique and Enginger. This is a saddle that I'm doing with Zab Stitches and Park Hopper Bart. So there's the design itself. Originally, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for her, and I was looking at other like famous people who played the character of the Little Mermaid, and when I found the episode of tying in with Fairy Tale Theater, pre-Fairy Tale Theater, there was Shirley Temple's storybook, which ran for 2 seasons, and she did the Little Mermaid in an episode, and the costume is almost identical to the design here. So I decided I'm going to make her Shirley Temple. So I'm doing this on As You Wish by Under the Sea Fabrics. Unfortunately, I had a slight counting mistake. And, oh, this is going to be a really hard one to show. It wants to wash out badly. Okay, so there we go. Hopefully it'll be better once I get some back stitching in. But I accidentally redid some stitches, so I have to frog her entire face. Because it's like super extended. But she's super pretty and I really like her. So, I'll be doing Shirley Temple as the Little Mermaid. Right. So that was my New Year New Start. Then came the New Moon New Start the next day. And as you may recall, my wheel spun Stitching Witches by the Victoria Sampler. Which, by the way, if you join the Victoria Sampler Facebook group, she's doing a free sal this year. Apparently she does one every year. I had no idea. But it's like a weekly one through April. And it looks like it'll be a fairly easy one to keep up with, if you're so inclined. I have a little too much going on right now. Excuse me. Otherwise, I would be all over that. I say that, and watch. gonna do it anyways. So here's the design. And I really freaking enjoyed stitching this. Like, I'm already planning to move quilts out of the rotation for this. Actually, quilts is probably going to have to come out for Little Red Riding Hood Parade. So I need to figure out something else that I'm willing to at least temporarily say goodbye to. And I don't know what that's going to be yet, because I really enjoyed stitching this. I got all of this done in one day, on Sunday. So let's see. This also finished out one of my whip goes, because I did 400 on a holiday theme, and this one's Halloween. But there it is. And then this is just on Witchelt Grey Mist. It says Alma, which I don't know if that... I don't know what Alma means. I don't know if that's a type of fabric. I don't know. But there you go. But no, I'm absolutely in love with stitching this. So, alright, then, this week, I worked on Kraken, as I said. I worked on The Secret Garden by Tiny Modernist. So here's the overall pattern. My goal for this month was to finish the door. It ended up taking me longer than I expected. It took three evenings. And let's see, and about 8, and it was 800 stitches exactly. I remember now. But I did finish. This is on Moccasin from Fortnite Fabrics. But the door is done, and it's so pretty, and I absolutely love it. So, and then Thursday night, I didn't do any stitching. I had a weird allergic reaction to something, and I popped a Zyrtec, and I did not feel good at all. So, I did no stitching. That's okay. Those things sort of, that does happen from time to time. So, this week, so the first weekly task in the way I'm kind of doing my weekly tasks in, Magical Stitches is my goal is just 50 stitches on that project for the week. That way I can then apply the rest of the stitches to the monthly tasks. So I finished, obviously, my weekly tasks super fast. I got one full monthly task done. And I got the majority of monthly task number 2 done. I did not count, I'm not counting my stitches on Cryptid, because that's too difficult to try and keep track of since I work on it almost daily, but not with enough to take, it's too much. So weekly task 2 is to work on my oldest whip next week. So that's going to be Aurora from Brooks Books. So 50 is for that challenge. So I will be working on that at some point this week. So, but let's go ahead real quick, and we're going to spin the wheel and see what I'm going to work on today. I have no clue what it's going to be. I do need to make... The only real thing is I do... obviously, if it's Nutcracker, I won't be working on it. Actually, let's go ahead and just weight that against it. Let's take down Aurora. Inspiration is my most colorful, so it's not going to be in the wheel, and Nutcracker won't be in the wheel. Which leaves Witchy Dreams, Wicked Siblings, Haunted House, Satsuma Alice, or Quilts. So... Quilts! I think it's safe. I'm just going to go ahead and pull Quilts out of the rotation, because that just did not... I don't want to work on that one. Actually, I don't really want to work on Witchy Dreams either, so... We'll see what spins this second time. Of course, it was Witchy Dreams. So Witchy Dreams may be a safe one to move out of my rotation to replace with Stitchin' Witches. Satsuma Street Alice. So that's what I'm going to work on today. We're going to go ahead and just replace Witchy Dreams with Stitching Witches. And Quilts is coming off the rotation for Red Riding Hood Parade. So I'm just going to delete that straight off of there. Okay, so Satsuma Alice it is. Anyhow, I hope everyone that's it for me today. I hope everyone had a great week, a great start to your new year. I hope you all have a great week or two coming up in advance. The next time I will be back is going to be the 23rd, so we'll check in then and see how things are going. So, I'll see you all next time. Bye.